Hey, what's going on, guys? Cloud of Truth here, and today is Monday, which means it's time for another episode of Medal of Honor Mondays, the series I do on my channel where I bring you guys Medal of Honor 2010 gameplay backed by more thought-provoking commentary, a more personal commentary, and a topic that revolves around Medal of Honor 2010 and or Medal of Honor Warfighter. Now, one thing I do want to mention real quick about the gameplay, I would encourage you guys to stick around to the very end because it gets pretty intense and pretty epic as I get kind of desperate running around towards the end as my support action starts to build up. But today's commentary is going to be about the FPS genre in gaming, and this actually was suggested by you guys as subscribers. Off the top of my name, I cannot remember your name. I'm sorry. I'll probably link it in the description, or well, leave your name in the description, that is, and he suggested to talk about why the first-person shooter genre is so popular. Why is it so much popular than all the other genres of gaming? And that's completely true. I mean, when you go to a friend's house, generally they have a lot of first-person shooter games. Whenever you see a lot of commercials, there are for a lot of first-person shooter games that's on TV. You don't see many commercials for other games. I mean, you occasionally will see stuff for like a Mario game. When Skyrim was coming out, you saw a few of those. But really, you see a lot for first-person shooters. There was a lot for Modern Warfare 3, there was a lot for Battlefield 3, there's even starting to get some for Medal of Honor Warfighter, you're seeing them for Black Ops 2, you're seeing for a lot of first-person shooter commercials, and it's a huge gaming genre, and it's just really exploded. And why is that? Well, first-person shooters weren't always the most popular gaming genre, at least in my house. Whenever I was starting out my gaming career, it was really about the action games, like I want to say action, kind of action adventure, the RPGs a little bit. I played some racing games, played a few puzzle games, things like that. FPSs weren't something I really had much experience in until I got a little bit older and actually got to play some more first-person shooters. Got my hands on Call of Duty's Modern Warfare, the first one, and then I got to playing MAG or MAG a lot. That was a fantastic game. Then of course I got into this game, and then from there, you know, I got into Battlefield 3, and I played a few other games, and it's really, I don't know, it's more fun to play these games. And why is it? Why is it just so much more fun? Why is there so much more satisfaction in playing first-person shooter games, which is really, for me, the reason why they've exploded? Well, coming from a guy's perspective, in first-person shooter multiplayer games, you have competition. And competition is something that guys have always loved. Well, that men have always loved. Even going back to old history times, back into Roman times, back into Greece times. You know, men competed in athletic events and Olympics. And that still holds true today, whether it be sports, whether it be gaming, whether it be anything. Men love competition. It's true. Whenever you play something, generally, if you play against other people, you're going to get pretty competitive. Now, obviously, some people are more competitive than others, but still, it's fun to compete and you want to win. And that is what I think makes first-person shooters so attractive, at least for guys, because there is a lot of competition when playing these, and when you beat other guys, it's just, you're defeating them, and you're showing, I don't know, it's like you're sticking your chest out and saying, ha, I beat you. I mean, that's kind of what it feels like for me whenever you beat other people when playing this game. It's just you're in a way asserting your dominance. I don't know if that's really the right phrase to use, but it kind of makes sense to me. You're kind of showing these guys that you're better than them, and it's very satisfying because it's almost the same way when you play something in sports. Because, you know, I played football through, or at least American football for those of you in Europe. I played football in high school for a couple of years, and it was a lot of fun. We beat other teams, and it was just like, ha, you know, we beat you guys. And there were some teams that were supposedly better than us, because at least in my state, they're divided up by how big your school is, and I was a pretty small school, and we would beat schools that were a lot bigger than us. And it's, you know, you don't really want to rub it in their face in a sense, but it's because of the competition, and you beat them. It's like, ha, I beat you. And I think that kind of has the same sense when talking about first-person shooters. You're playing this shooter game, which, first of all, you're shooting a gun, which for a guy is almost one of like the most, I guess, manly things you can do is shoot a gun. And you're doing that online, and you're playing against other people, and you're beating them. And I think that's just, it's incredibly satisfying, and it feels good because you're just beating them. And that is why I think first-person shooters are so popular. I don't know. You can leave me your thoughts below as far as why you think first-person shooters are so popular. Now, another thing I want to talk to you guys about is, do you think that it will continue to be this way? Do you think that first-person shooters are going to be the most popular gaming genre here on out? Or do you think something else is going to overtake it? Because as of right now, there's not too many other game types that people seem to play consistently and that they really enjoy. Now, there's a few, kind of these, I guess, MMO, RPG kind of games where you find a lot of people that play them and really do enjoy them. And those require a lot more thinking than first-person shooters that a lot of people think. A lot of people think first-person shooters don't require much thinking, and I would disagree with that. They don't require as much thinking as some other games like puzzle games, but that's kind of the point of puzzle games, isn't it? I mean, you're supposed to think, you're supposed to figure out stuff. In first-person shooters, for the most part, you don't really have to figure out too much. I mean, you have to kind of think about your movements and things like that. But especially when you get into games like Battlefield, where it's a lot of teamwork, there is some thinking involved, but it's not nearly as much as some other games. But do you guys think that, the first-person shooter genre will stay atop, I guess, all the gaming genres out there? Do you think it will remain the king of all the genres, or do you think something else will pass it? Based on what I've seen, I'm not sure. As long as they continue to make fantastic first-person shooter games, I think that the first-person shooter genre will stay atop of all these other ones, just because as a guy, it's so much more satisfying, shooting a gun, shooting a very, very manly thing to do, and beating other people online because of the competition. I think that that's why first-person shooters will remain atop the gaming genres. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I get this last-second cruise missile here and drop it right on my body as the game ends, but I figured that was pretty cool. Go ahead and leave me your thoughts below as far as what you thought about this commentary, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you later. Bye.